Welcome to the fourth part of this IoT and embedded system cybersecurity tutorial. In the last video, we were able to develop the firmware for our controller. So if you have been able to set up your Pico 2W to communicate with your OLED, your relay, and your DHT11 sensor, I would say well done and congratulations. Now we're going to focus on how to integrate the IoT part. So we focus on implementing the IoT aspect of our firmware. Remember, IoT stands for Internet of Things, which simply means the ability for us to communicate with our devices anywhere, from anywhere, at any time via the internet, and for devices to be able to communicate with one another with or without our intervention. Alright, so there are three types of ways you could set up your IoT for your temperature humidity controller system. One is to implement an IoT, connect your Pico 2W to an IoT platform. The second type of setup is for you to create your own custom apps that manages the communication between your mobile applications, your web applications, and the Pico 2W. While the third one is you making your Pico 2W as a server. So I will go through each of these three types for better understanding. Now let's look at the first one, where we create make our Pico 2W to communicate with an IoT platform. Now this is the basic principle of how it works. First, our Pico 2W has a Wi-Fi module that enables us to communicate with our access point or with our routers, and through that we're able to communicate with an IoT platform in the cloud. So we have several IoT platforms that are available now that helps us to set up our IoT communication from our Pico 2W in order for us to either monitor our sensors or control our actuators that are connected with our Pico 2W. So some of the IoT platforms include the TeamSpeak, Adafruit IO, Blink, Firebase, Google Cloud IoT, AWS IoT, and so on and so forth. There are so many of them out there. So the advantage of this is that it helps us to set up our IoT communication very quickly. We don't have to bother about how we want to develop the application to view our data from our Pico 2W. Alright, so once your Pico 2W is connected to the end of this IoT platform, so it's going to do the connection, and there will be a communication via certain protocols like the MQTT or the HTTP. So with the help of this communication protocol, data is managed between your Pico 2W and the IoT platform residing in the cloud. So the advantage of this is that it allows you to access your data from anywhere, at any time. Okay, so which is known as a wide area network. So I can be in Kaduna with my system set up, connected to the cloud somewhere, and based on the cloud setup, I can visualize my data on my mobile phone or on my PC from anywhere, as long as I'm connected to the internet. So this is the first type of setup for your IoT, where you use an existing IoT platform. Now let's go to the next one, which is creating a custom apps to set up your IoT. Alright, so what happens is this: you will have to take care of all the back end, create your database that manages your data from your Pico 2W devices, also manages all the devices that are connected to your application server. So you need to set up your database, create your application server, and based on that you'll be able to communicate from your Pico 2W or Pico W to your application server and your database server. From there you'll be able to access your data either through your mobile phone, your desktop, from anywhere across the world. Again, you have to set up all your communication protocols like the MQTT or HTTP communication, and so on and so forth. So this is the second method of setting up your IoT. Then the third method is where you deploy your server, a web server, on your Pico 2W or your Pico W. So you deploy a server on this Pico W such that any device that is connected to the same access point as your Pico 2W will be able to communicate with your Pico 2W. So once you have a server, you could make a request from your mobile phone. As long as you're connected on the same Wi-Fi, your Pico 2W will respond with a web page, and you can visualize your data on your phone or on your laptop, on any device. However, the challenge with this is that it is a Wi-Fi local area network. Okay, so it's limited by geolocation. All right, so let's look at the summary. So we have the three types of setup. One is the IoT platform, custom app, or Pico as a server. So in this case, you need internet connectivity for IoT platform connection. Also for your custom app, you probably need internet connectivity. It depends on how you want to set up. Okay, so if you're setting up as a wireless LAN or Wi-Fi LAN, or if you want to make it a wide area network, then of course you need internet connectivity. If not, then you will need just a WLAN. All right, so for the Pico as a server, you do not need internet, so it's a local area network, so you do not need internet. Okay, so if you are staying in a place where there is no internet access, then you can decide to set up something like this. However, you'll be limited by the distance that your Wi-Fi or your local area access point can cover. Now, in terms of development, yep, using the IoT platform is quite easy, but because you don't have to bother about how the application server, the database server works. No, you just, all you need to do is configure your Pico 2W to communicate with any of the existing IoT platforms. Then for custom app, it's moderate and hard. Okay, so it depends on how far you want to go. So you probably need a lot of knowledge on database systems, how to develop front end, back ends, and how to use all the existing protocols. So you need to know how to do that. Okay, but this is quite good if you are looking at professional systems where you want to have a customized application that can help you manage your IoT devices. Okay, so for Pico as a server, this is quite moderate, not that difficult, because everything is limited to what your Pico 2 or Pico W can handle. Okay, so you're creating a web server on your Pico W that responds to internet requests or IP requests. Okay, now the Pico as a server is best for local control or monitoring. Okay, so either in a local farm, your rural area, or your home, you want to create a smart home where you don't want people to have access to your data, so you can create the Pico as a server. Therefore, the custom app is a professional system, so it can be deployed anywhere. Okay, then the IoT platform is actually good for beginners. That's existing dashboards, and also good for research purpose because you can easily set up your system in good time. All right, so in terms of network type, so again, this is called wireless wide area network. So with the advantage of this is that since your IoT platforms are in the cloud, so you can access them from anywhere. Okay, so through your IoT platforms, you can control your IoT devices, you can monitor your sensors, and so on and so forth. All right, so this is the summary for the different types. So on our Pico 2W IoT temperature humidity controller, we're going to set up Pico as a web server. So we're going to use the third one, which is Pico as a web server. So basically we're going to add some of these things to our existing firmware. So we're going to add some libraries, which is network library, socket library. Okay, and then we're going to set up Pico 2 as a Wi-Fi server. So we'll create some access point, or connect to existing access point. Then the third aspect would be for us to create a mobile friendly web server. Okay, so I'll show you how to do that in the code. And the fourth one is we're going to create our web page. Okay, so the way we want our data to be displayed on the mobile device once a request is made. So we're going to create that. So again, if you have good knowledge of HTML, that's fine. Otherwise, you can just follow this example. And then the last part is how to handle web requests in the main loop. So let's look at how this is done in the Tony IDE. Alright, so I've implemented this in the Tony IDE and it's currently working. So I'll just go through the codes with us quickly. Okay, so these are Tony IDE. If you can see the codes. Alright, so first is to import the library. So we have added the network and the socket library. So these are needed for us to be able to set up our Wi-Fi communication on our Pico 2W. Okay. All right. Then the next is so these are from our previous video. So I won't go through that. So to initialize hardware, still the same. Set up our threshold, create our functions. So we've gone through that in our last video. Please refer to the last video. Then the next thing is we need to set up our Wi-Fi server access point. So you need to connect, check your access point. So if you're using your mobile phone or whatever router, so you need to get your SSID. So this is usually the name of your, if you put on your hotspot on your phone, what you see there is your SSID, and of course you need the password you have created. So you put that in your code. All right, so this enables your Wi-Fi of your Pico 2W to be able to connect to this access point. Then if you have done that, then you initialize that, okay, with the network .wireless LAN, and you connect with your SSID and password. Okay, so change this to your own SSID and change this to your own password. Okay, so once this part of the code shows you that it will print on the shell that Wi-Fi API has started, and it will print the IP address that you require to connect from your mobile phone in order to retrieve the web page of your web server. Okay, so the next thing is for you to create web server. So again, using your socket, it connects to using your HTTP at port 80. Okay, so this helps you to bind the address of whatever device is connected to your web server. Okay, and next is the web page. So this is where you create your web page to display your temperature, humidity, and release state. Okay, so if you're familiar with HTML, you notice some of these basic HTML codes, but however they're embedded in Python. So Python helps you to run your HTML code. So you can just go through this and see how it works. Okay, so after that you write the main loop. So the main loop, once again, you clear your OLED, show that your server has started. Okay, to display that on the OLED, wait for 2 seconds, then while true, it will read temperature and humidity. Okay, if there's no error, then of course it's going to call the functions control relay buzzer underscore alert update underscore OLED. So this will help us control how the temperature controller behaves. Then next is to handle the web request. So once there's a web request, okay, there's going to be a response, okay, with the temperature, humidity, and release status, right? And with that, so it comes to the end of the code. All right, so once the code is completed, so the next thing is you want to run your script file. So you can save the file as either pico w underscore server.py or whatever name you feel is convenient for you. Then once you save, you run. When you run, you see Wi-Fi AP started. Then it's going to display the IP address which you need to connect to in order for you to visualize your temperature, humidity, and release status. So I'm going to copy this guy and open a web page somewhere here. So I'm going to open a web page and I'll put in the IP address. So I'll press enter. So what happens here is this. You see the IP address. Once I press enter, it's going to send a request to my server on my Pico 2W. Okay, so remember this code is running on your Pico 2W right now. It's been programmed to your Pico 2W. So once you send this request, it will send a request to the Pico 2W, and the Pico 2W will respond with this web page. First, it will show the temperature. Tell you Pico 2W IoT dashboard. It will send you the temperature, 31 degrees at the moment. The humidity is 15%, and of course the relay status is on. So remember, the same thing that happens on the hardware. So if we look at the hardware currently, it shows the value of the temperature. So the same thing, 31 degrees, 15%, and relay is on. All right. So this brings us to the end of the first part of the IoT integration, which is making our Pico 2W a server in order for us to connect our devices to visualize our temperature. So I can also implement this on my phone, web page on my phone. So let me open one. Okay. All right. So I'm going to type in the same IP address 192.168.168.0.124. Okay, reload. 192.168.0.124. Okay, so now yep, it's crashing. So why is it crashing? Okay, it's back. Right. Okay, so I think I'm gonna stop this. Why is it crashing? Okay, so if you can see, now I can visualize my temperature, humidity, and my relay status from my phone as well. So yep, this is working. So the next video is I'll show you how to connect to the IoT, one of the IoT platforms. Thank you, and see you in our next video. So if you have enjoyed this video, please don't forget to like, to subscribe, and also to share with your colleagues and friends. Thank you, and see you in our next video. Bye.